To all of you who celebrate the holiday out there, I just want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. Greetings and welcome back to another fantastic episode of the Vodkast. I'm your host, as always, Old Saint Geycen. And today I wanted to talk about my top 10s. Now, mind you, these lists actually aren't top 10s, but it looks a lot better in the title. So for food, we've got 5. For movies, we've got 10. But for music, we've got 15 because I love Christmas music. After Thanksgiving, if I go into a store and I don't hear Christmas music, oh, Lord, we're going to have some real problems. I just love hearing it. I don't know what it is. It brings me back to being a kid. And I remember my mother would play it in the house all the time. Specifically, a lot of these songs that you're going to hear on this list here today are not here, but rather I'll tell you about them on the list. And I love that time of year, setting up the tree, just being cozy and warm after playing outside in the snow for hours and having a hot chocolate. I wanted to share some of these memories, some of these experiences, and my top 10 with you guys today. But to start things off, I received many, many packages in the mail today. I've been getting a lot of packages, obviously, because the season is upon us and orders have been placed. I don't like to do a lot of shopping in the stores if I don't have to because it's chaos, it's craziness out there. And I have something wrong with this brain up in my head that just drives me crazy to be around a lot of people this time of year, or any time of the year, to be completely honest. Now, if I had to guess, I would say this is coming from my good friend Rick Brady, only because it's spelled Geycen. And most of my other fans and friends and family and followers usually send it with the traditional spelling of Jason. So without further ado, I'm very much looking forward to this. This could be something I actually ordered and just totally forgot about, and I'll just nix this whole part. But here we go. Let's find out what's in here. It already feels hot. Oh, God. I have a feeling it's nuts. Is it nuts? Oh, boy. Ooh, sassy and spicy dark chocolate, premium hot chocolate, Castle Kitchen, dairy-free, GMO-free, vegan, gluten-free, plant-based, just add water. Oh, my God, Rick, I am so excited about this, and I want to tell you really quickly how excited I am about this. I'll make sure there's no note in there. Yesterday, we were going to the Christmas parade here in Lynchburg, and all I wanted was a hot chocolate mixed with a coffee. I believe it's called a witch's brew, and we were all out of hot chocolate. I did run out this morning and buy some hot chocolate, but this is something sassy and spicy. Thank you so much for this, Rick. Thank you so much for everything you do. Thank you for being our first Patreon, and if anybody else is interested in joining the Patreon, the tiers start as low as $3 a month. Just $3. And every step up to $20, there's 4 tiers, will get you a little bit more integrated into the podcast, give you some voice in the podcast and what happens on this channel. It is never expected, but is always appreciated. So thank you so much, Rick, and thank you anyone else who's interested in joining. By the way, we are almost at 700 subscribers. We've got about 2 or 3 weeks left to the end of the year, and I would love to get there before the end of the year. So if anybody wants to help out and share this, or if you're not subscribed and you're loving the content I'm creating, please hit the subscribe button and maybe the bell button. It'll let you know every time I put out a new video. So let's get to this list here. We're going to start with the food because it's a short list. Mind you, I didn't even take the time to put these in any particular order. I just wanted to share them with you and maybe see if some of you guys agree with me. Let me know in the comments below if any of my favorites in these lists are some of your favorites as well. So starting right at the top, when I think about Christmas for food, I think about gingerbread cookies. I love gingerbread cookies. I also love molasses cookies, which kind of overlap a little bit. But gingerbread, when I was a kid, I remember this time of year, it was either kindergarten or first grade in Mendon, Massachusetts. We made a giant gingerbread man, and we had to let it cool, and then we went out to recess, and we played outside in the freezing cold, and we came back. That gingerbread man was gone. He must have run away or something like that. I honestly think the goddamn teachers probably ate it, but who knows. Moving along here, peppermint mocha latte. I love peppermint-flavored drinks this time of year. I just today picked up some of the, I can't remember the name of the company, the big company that makes all the hot chocolate. I picked up a peppermint version of it. My son follows after me, Griffin. He loves hot chocolate with marshmallows, so that's one of my favorites. But peppermint mocha latte is just a nice mix of like a coffee drink, and it seasonally, it makes me feel real special. You know what I mean? If I'm walking around in the cold, it's nice to have a hot drink in your hand, and if that drink's going to be anything, it should be a peppermint mocha latte. Number 3, sweet potatoes. I hated these growing up. I hated everything growing up. I didn't give anything an opportunity, really. And now as I'm getting older, I'm learning that I love a lot of these things. And sweet potato casserole with the marshmallows or without the marshmallows is definitely one of my favorite side dishes. Unfortunately, number 4 on my list is my favorite side dish. You get a little gravy on top of the stuffing. Actually, I really like it all mixed in, but stuffing, oh man, there's just something about it. It's something that you don't have all year long. You only really have like twice a year. Maybe you do, I don't know, but normally that is reserved for Thanksgiving and for Christmas. So stuffing is definitely on that list. And finally, I'm going to add this even though I haven't tried it yet because I like the based form of it, or the base form of it. Rum ham. This year, we're going to make a rum ham based off the rum ham that you'll find on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. One of my top favorite shows. Perhaps we should do a list of top favorite all-time shows. I think A-Team would probably be on there, too. Moving right along, I'm going to take this list 10 to 1 because there's so many of these. I'm going to rush through these, and I'm going to give you stories if I feel like there's something more I have to say about them. But Christmas movies and shows. A Christmas Story, I love the fact that it runs on certain channels just 24 hours a day on Christmas. You can tune in anytime you want. It's one of those movies where you can jump in at any time, and there's always a scene or something wacky happening in it. Well-written movie, traditional, classic, love it. Cuts to the core of me, Baxter. Gremlins. Oh my God, this is definitely one of my top 10 movies of all time. Gremlins takes place around Christmas. It might not necessarily be a Christmas movie per se, kind of like Die Hard, which, you know, is eventually going to get on this list here. But Gremlins is just, it's so creepy. And I love the story that she tells. I can't remember her character's name. When she talks about her dad being found in the chimney, and then there's a callback to that in Gremlins 2, which is a horrendous movie, probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen, where they talk about how somebody else died because of Abraham Lincoln's birthday or something. Anywho, Gremlins just encompasses that feeling, and the music in it is very Christmassy. It starts out with a da-da-da-da-da-da, maybe not that song, I can't remember. Charlie Brown Christmas coming in at number 8. Not coming in at number 8, but part of the list. This really has a lot of ties to my family. When it was Christmas time, my mother would get the TV guide and she would just circle or highlight all the Christmas shows, what time they were going to be on, so that we knew that night we were going to sit down and watch this. And 2 of those, which I'll tell you the other one now, is How the Grinch Stole Christmas and Charlie Brown Christmas, are ones that I shared with my grandmother, who meant a great deal to me. So whenever I watch those now, it reminds me of her, and that's a very special thing for me. Nightmare Before Christmas, just classic, wonderful Tim Burton. I love the music in it. I love the claymation. It's just really well done. And the way it handles Christmas and the way that Jack handles trying to take over Christmas is just a great story. I love the way it wraps up in the end. Incredible movie. Moving right along here. Krampus. We only watched this, I think, 2 years ago with the kids. They love horror movies. They love being scared. And Krampus was better than I ever thought it was going to be. It was one of those movies where I was just like, oh, that looks really cheesy. But I really enjoyed it. And it's like one of our new family movies that I just absolutely adore and love. So if you're into horror and Christmas crossing over, that's a good one to watch. Interesting movie. Christmas Vacation. Not a huge fan of Chevy Chase ever since I've learned of his kind of antics behind the scene. However, it is definitely, for me, it's got to be in the top 3. That and 2 other ones that we'll get to in just a moment here. But Christmas Vacation, the whole Vacation series, seeing that family evolve, even the actors and ages, how there's no continuity to it. Either way, it's just a hilarious movie that celebrates the weirdness of life, and I can't get enough of it. Number 4, Bill Murray, one of my favorite actors of all time. One of the few celebrities that I would love to meet before I die, which actually probably before he dies because he's getting up there in age. But Scrooge is such a great retelling of A Christmas Carol, and it's his greed, and how he doesn't care about anything and how he's almost oblivious to the things going on around him until suddenly, the ghost of Christmas past, present, and future make him clearly aware of where he is on this path of life and kind of redirects him. It's a nice retelling and an interesting twist to it. Die Hard, of course. It is definitely a Christmas movie. Those movies that aren't Christmas movies but take place around Christmas. Die Hard is just an amazing action movie by the great Bruce Willis, who sadly isn't acting anymore because of mental condition and deterioration of the brain and so on and so forth. But we'll always have Die Hard in this time of year to really enjoy those moments. So thank you, Bruce. If you're hearing this, make sure you're subscribed to the podcast. And number 1, for many, many reasons, is Elf. We started a tradition several years ago that's kind of been broken now, but we always try to watch Elf at least once before the season. It is the most heartwarming Christmas movie imaginable to me. I love the story of Buddy the Elf leaving the North Pole, going to find his dad, finding out his dad's on the naughty list, and just the feels from that movie. As it comes to, I must cry 3 times during that movie. I imagine a lot of it has to do with just being me, who I am. However, as I got older, commercials make me cry. And Elf, I can't watch it without just being all teared up. So that's my top 10 favorite Christmas movies in no particular order. And finally, we're going to move along to songs here. I'm going to try to power through these real quick. Right from the top, Little Drummer Boy. Actually recorded it, and you guys may have heard little versions of it during some of the episodes over the season this year. I kind of injected them into the points where I fast forward and you see me eating food and so on and so forth. I heard a band, this Christian rock band named Whiteheart. I went to see them in concert when I was younger. And I heard them perform it, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's amazing!" They turned it into like a rock song, and it's always stuck with me. But a lot of versions of that song are really good. Okay, number 2 may come as a surprise to you, but that Mariah Carey song, "All I Want for Christmas Is You," I don't even know if that's the name of it or not. However, whenever I hear that, I get so excited. I'm like, "Oh, it's Christmas!" So thank you, Mariah Carey. Christmas, Please Come Home, Baby Please Come Home. Just another one of those classics that I just really love, performed by several artists. Alfie the Christmas Tree is a part of a medley, which is my number 4 song. John Denver and the Muppets, A Christmas Together, is by far my favorite Christmas album of all time, start to finish. I love the interaction between John Denver, who's this, kind of country musician, more folksy, I guess, than anything else. And the way he performs the songs with the Muppets is just awesome. I love it. Damn it, I forgot one for the other list. Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. That should have been on the show and movie list. So as we're moving along here, Alfie the Christmas Tree just tells a beautiful story and ends with, I can't remember the words off of the top of my head, but it's just this beautiful little medley that ends in this song. It's in every one of us to be brave or to be wise. Bind your heart, open up both your eyes. It's just such a touching song. I dig it a lot. It's my favorite song on that album. Maybe It's Cold Outside, even though it is not so, it's more frowned upon these days because of our certain culture. And I agree with it. It is a little rapey. But of course, my favorite version of that is Scott Levesque's version with Liz Phair. I believe they recorded it. Or it might have been Wheat and Liz Phair. I'm not sure what the lineup was during that recording, but if I can find a link to it, I'll put it in the comments below. Scott's been a long-time friend of mine, and I've always enjoyed the music he's written and provided the world, and I think this is a great single. If you get a chance to get your hands on it or hear it, I'm sure it's on YouTube. Like I said, I'll put it in the comments below. Winter Wonderland is just a classic song that no matter who's performing it, I don't know, it gives me that feel of Christmas. It gives me that feel of just the love and everything that comes with it. It reminds me of all of that. And it's not like a new song where you're excited about new Christmas songs, or it's not it's not one of those standout songs like when it comes to like Christmas songs. Maybe it is for you, but nonetheless, it's definitely in my top 16 I have on this list actually. Santa, tell me if you're really there. I don't know how to sing that song. I listened to it a lot. I believe it's Ariana Grande. It's another one of those new songs that a few years ago we went down to Williamsburg to Busch Gardens right around this time of year, and it was awesome because we got to go see this huge performance and all the songs were being performed. And this song, I don't know what it is about it, because normally a lot of these newer Christmas songs, they just don't do anything for me. But that's one of the one that and that whole All I Want for Christmas Is You, but that's not really even new at this point. Last Christmas, I Gave You My Heart. The very next day, You Gave It Away, by George Michael. I can never remember between that and Arrested Development which one is which. I don't know why. It's just one of those things that stick in my head. Just a classic 80s, late 80s kind of Christmas song that stood the test of time. A lot of these songs come out and you're like, whatever, sweep it under the rug. That one, when that comes on, I'm super excited. I like George Michaels anyway, so George Michael, whatever, Michaels. Okay, let's move right along here. I don't want to keep you much longer than I need to. Feliz Navidad. It's just such a party song. It's such a great kind of, I want to get into it. It's one of those type of songs. And the fact that I don't really know what half of it means, I don't really care. It's just, it does something for me. All right. Happy Christmas, the War Is Over. John Lennon, Yoko Ono. Beautiful song. That's all I got to say about it. I really don't have anything else. That's it. This is another one that I remember hearing probably for the first time when I was at that Busch Gardens in Williamsburg, is Underneath the Tree. You're here, there's nothing to fear. That it's such an upbeat and peppy song, which normally I don't like with my Christmas songs. I usually like more subdued. Like I love listening to the classics like Away in a Manger and some of these songs that I grew up with when I was in church as a kid. They're beautiful songs, O Little Town of Bethlehem. But some of these modern songs, they just do it for me. They get me in the Christmas mood and a Christmas spirit and a better Christmas spirit too. Because some of those older songs, they're really kind of depressing and they bring you down. Kind of like there's number 14. We'll skip the next one or the next two and we'll go to that one. Is O Tenenbaum, which when I think of that, oh Christmas tree, those chords being played on the piano. Anytime, no matter who's performing it, I think of the Peanuts and I think of my grandmother. So going back to, we got Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC, which it's one of those songs that stands out as a Christmas song. Not only is it still around and still well loved, it's just so different than anything on this list, and I appreciate that a lot. Blue Christmas by Elvis, no other. I love Elvis Presley. I grew up, my parents loved Elvis Presley. They had the opportunity to go see Elvis, and my dad got sick, and so he died shortly thereafter, so they never got to see him. But I'll have a blue, 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 blue Christmas. I don't know, something about his droning drawl, that southern kind of swag he had to him. He puts a little touch on Blue Christmas that I've never heard anybody else do, so I dig that a whole lot. Run, Rudolph, Run. That's just a rocker. You know what I mean? I just dig it. I like it. A lot. Even. And like I said, these songs are out of order, so the very last song on here is Santa Baby, which is just definitely mixed into that 16. Whenever that one comes on after another song that I'm like, oh yeah, I like that song too. Oh, I like that one. You know what I mean? So she's really greedy. This woman singing the song to Santa. She wants a goddamn platinum mine. I don't know how Santa can provide that. I thought Santa just made toys at the North Pole, but apparently he's got real estate. He's got checkbooks just to hand out. He's got money. He's got diamond rings. It's a little disgusting. Christmas is for kids. Whoever wrote that song. Anywho, that's my list. I really hope you dug this episode. I really hope you have a wonderful Christmas or Kwanzaa or Hanukkah, whatever it is you celebrate. I know I'm going to do my best to, and I'm going to do my best to be a better person moving forward in the coming years. So if you guys are loving the content that I'm creating as much as I love creating the content that you guys are watching, would you please consider subscribing to the channel? It would be a huge help-a-rooney for me and a wonderful Christmas present. Don't forget to make somebody smile this time of year and make yourself a better person tomorrow than you were today tomorrow. Let's make the world spin a little bit happier and a little bit more festive together. Let's sing and dance in the sun, the snow, and the rain as one, my brothers and sisters. Live life to the fullest and love every moment of it, because you just never know when that last moment's going to come for you. However, never live in fear of that moment. Always live in love and never let your inner elf die. Take care of yourselves, take care of one another, and take care of those around you who cannot take care of themselves, for they are the ones that need it the most. And if no one has told you today that they love you, the Vodkast loves you very much, just the way you are. All right, guys, do no harm. I'm Geycen Oliver. This is the Vodkast, and I'll catch you guys a little bit further on down the road to 50. Take care, my friends, and have a happy holiday season.
Don't go to sleep with a catch it in your pocket.